Hello there, so today I've got some pork ribs and some beef brisket. So check out the video. So today I've got some pork ribs, look pretty good, and some brisket. Now most people tell you to trim off the fat on top of the brisket, but I like to leave it because it ends up really tasty. It does if you just leave it on, and then you just put the salt and pepper rub on top, classic kind of Texas style salt and pepper on the brisket, and then just ends up all nice tasty fat on top. Opposed to if you trim the fat off, maybe you get some more flavour into the meat, but then you've just not got that tasty fat on top. Right, so today for the pork ribs, I've got some Daddy's Cool Chili Sauce, which I got with my with one of my hot sauce clubs. So we're going to put that on, and got some magic dust. So let's go ahead and apply that. Let's give it a quick shake. Quite a bit of that on. Let's rub it in. This is just to help the rub stick and give it a bit more flavour. It's a nice, really nice flavour on this chilli sauce. Just gives it a bit more of a kick than putting standard mustard on, which most people seem to do. Cool, flip them over. Add some more. Some people take the membrane off. I'm not going to bother this time. I think it's fairly optional. Membrane's just there for the to go in between the organs and the ribs, but we don't need that. We can leave it on. Not a problem. Grand. So we got our magic dust, which we've got off Amazon. This stuff's got really good reviews, so I thought I'd check it out. Hopefully it's as nice as the reviews say. Very quick check. I'm just gonna sprinkle it on. And we'll just pad that in, just with our hands. Most people tend to say to just pad it in. I'm not 100% sure why, but it stops it. Best just to go with the flow on this one. Flip it over. Like some more. Do a bit this side. Sorted. That in. Sorted. I think that's it's all done. Nice coated ribs. Hopefully they'll be nice and tasty. So I'll tell you later on. So for the brisket, it's a nice chunk of meat. Don't worry too much if you've not got a full brisket, because you don't need one. You can just, whatever size you can get is fine. And if it's just 4 of you, or 2 or 4 of you, or even 6 of you, a small lump of brisket is perfectly fine. Especially if you've got a smaller barbecue. I've got the smaller Weber Smokey Mountain, the smallest size. I find that's perfectly fine for up to like 4-6 people. So add in pepper. I'm just gonna add a decent amount. I don't think you can really add too much pepper to the brisket. Actually, first off, we probably should just throw some Pour some Worcestershire sauce over, just help it stick a bit. There we go. Give that a quick rub in. Make sure it's fully covered. Flip it over. Sweet. Rub that nice sauce. Nice Worcestershire sauce in. Grand. Flip it back over and we'll add some pepper. More pepper. This is rainbow pepper. It's really strong, so it's great for this. Add some to this a little bit. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with that. Not going to take long at all to cook. My local butcher fastens them together in like a bit of a ball shape, and there's always some smaller bits which come off. But I like to unwrap them and smoke them nice and flat, and then you get maximum smoke. So we're going to add a bit of salt as well. Same as the pepper, just layer it on, just press it in. I've got Himalayan salt, but any kind of rock salt will do it. And some on the side. Fully peppered up. That's a bit of salt. There we go. Nice and tasty. Lit the barbecue up. Blowing embers everywhere. It's almost there. Just ready to tip my Weber starter onto the Weber Smokey Mountain. Such a good barbecue, this Weber Smokey Mountain. Only just lit it, look, bang on temperature already. And it'll just stay like that for the full cook. Such a great barbecue. This the smallest Weber Smokey Mountain you can get. Just a great one. Highly recommend this one. You can do like a fair size brisket on it and do a good size rack of ribs like we've got today. And it's just a great little smoker barbecue, especially if you're just kind of getting into it. I'd definitely go for this one, because I was tempted to go for a bigger one, but it's a lot cheaper, and that's what ended up swaying my mind, and I'm glad I did. So I'm going to stick the meat on now. I've got the brisket here and the ribs underneath, so I'm going to put the brisket on the bottom. Doesn't matter too much. I fill up the tray of water, some people wrap it. I find it keeps the temperature pretty well. So we've got the brisket. It's nice, nice chunk. We'll just lay that there. So, that side up. I do. People do different things, so that's what I do. And I've got a tiny bit of meat. Just put that in there. Put the extra oil on. Now we've got the pork ribs in here. Now with dry rubs like we're using today, you don't really need to marinate them for that long. You can just put them straight on, pretty much cook them straight away. If you're using a wet marinade, you have to put it on overnight. just fits this one. Couldn't be any bigger. So that's perfect. So we'll get that on. Get the lid on. There we go. And that'll go back up to temperature, I'm pretty sure, straight away. And we'll check on it in 2 hours. So it's 2 hours later. Just coming to check. Temperature is good. Keeping it in the smoke range there, between 100 and 125. Smelling amazing. Let's take a look. Oh, look at them ribs. They look absolutely quality. Look at the colour on them. You can just hear it sizzling away. And see the brisket below starting to colour nicely. I think I might wrap the ribs, as they've got a fair nice bit of colour already, and leave the brisket for a little longer. So I've just pulled the ribs out of the barbecue. They're looking pretty good, just there. I'm going to put them onto this foil. So I've pot ribs on the foil, and then I'm just going to double wrap them, 2 layers, and put some more. I put some apple cider vinegar and apple juice on them earlier. I'm just going to put a bit more of that on, and wrap them up, and then hopefully it'll be nice and moist in a couple of hours. I just wrapped one layer in tin foil and then up first, and then I wrapped the second layer on top of that, so then it's got 2 layers of protection, and it's less likely to put a hole, and then it can just steam nicely inside. So all wrapped up, I'm ready to go back on the barbecue. Stick that on for another 2 hours, and then it should be done, and then I have to decide whether I want to glaze it with some barbecue sauce or not, and that should take only like 10 minutes. And to glaze it, you just take the foil off and then put barbecue sauce on, and then just let it soak in. So I wrapped the ribs up on the barbecue, and I've moved the ribs onto the bottom and the brisket onto the top, so hopefully the brisket will get some more colour up at the top and we'll be away nicely. I've got the little bit wrapped up, although I think it might have been a bit overcooked, that bit, we'll have to see. Cool, let's stick the lid back on and let it smoke some more. Just pulled the brisket off the barbecue. It's been about 3.5 hours. Got some nice colour to it. I'm just going to wrap it. Probably leave it wrapped for about 2 hours. Right, let's get it wrapped and back on the barbecue. It was getting pretty wet outside, so I decided to bring both wrapped lots of meat inside, put them in the oven, and keep them on temperature a bit better in here as well. So that's always something that you can do. It's an option. Obviously it's more fun if you leave it on the barbecue, but it's not very much fun being out in the rain either. Just thought I'd add, I stick it on between 100 and 120 degrees. Just got the ribs out. I think they're slightly overdone, as they've come off the bones pretty much completely on this side. Tastes pretty good though. Total smoke time for these was about 2.5 hours smoking with smoke, and then wrap them up for 2 hours. So total smoke time 4.5 hours. Finished cooking the brisket, and it's had its hour's rest, so it's all ready. So and it's all nice, and look, it's got that nice little fatty bit on top, which will be all nice and tasty, and then it comes apart nice and easy. Just perfect. Total time just under 6 hours.